I'm Shane Webke and I'm about to embark upon something I've long dreamt of doing, the Variety Club Bash, which is essentially a group of cars 30 years old or more, all decorated in the most outlandish fashion imaginable, trekking around Queensland, spurting people with water, having a good time, but raising money for kids. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? But I'm on my first bash, so I'm what they call a virgin basher. So I've enlisted my good mate Jarla to help me out and give me the tips that will get me home alive.
All right, I've done 3 bashes, and the one thing I can tell you is bashes are sneaky.
I am feeling nervous. Should I be?
You should be very, very nervous.
Dear.
Virgins always get a tough run on the first couple of days, but I'm sure you'll get into it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Now, one thing I've got to tell you, don't leave your keys in the car, because God knows where they'll end up.
Ah, well look, it's been lovely talking to you, but I've just got to duck off for a moment. This year's Beef and Beaches Bash is trekking from the Sunshine Coast to Early Beach. But from what I hear, the bashers never take the direct route. So we're in for quite a journey, taking in Dalby, Springshaw, Capella, Yuppon, Glendon, Ravenswood and Bowen along the way.
We've got 101 bash cars, we've got 34 official vehicles, it's a total of 157 cars. We've got 430 people, and of those, 230 of them are virgins. Jesus, what a trip we're in for.
Now, clearly from the look of all of this, there is a lot of fun to be had on the bash. But there is a serious side too. To enter a car in the bash, there is a minimum $7,000 entrant fee.
Come on, Alan!
So we might be at the starting line, but for us bashers, this journey started a long time ago in both fundraising and getting these crazy vehicles ready.
Here we go.
This will be the 4th trip for the Kalenga Cowboys team, so they know all about the hard work that goes into a bash.
And then we've been working on it for the last 12 months, giving her the heart transplant and the lungs. Automatic needed doing up as well. She's had 2 new batteries and fan belts. The whole 10 yards has been done to it. Ah, there's the cow one. Kids love that.
In fact, the Cowboys love it so much, they take 2 cars.
Well, initially, first year, I guess I just wanted to do a bash. Everybody says, I've always wanted to do that. And then we went on the bash and saw what good work the bashers do in raising money for disadvantaged kids out in the bush. So it just got me, you know. Every year we do it. We get a gang of people together and we raise as much money as we can. And because we put a little bit of a souped up V8 in it, we decided we'd have some flames coming off the cow spot. So it's a very fast cow.
So we're off on the first leg of the bash, heading from Twin Waters on the Sunshine Coast towards Dalby, way out there. The bash starts off with lovely ocean views, but the scenery quickly changes as the bash heads through the Kenilworth State Forest.
With over 100 bash cars and 400 or so bashers, there is a whole lot of organisation behind the scenes to keep things running smoothly.
There we go. See you later.
Fortunately, there is over 30 official vehicles to keep us in check. So it's only early days, hopefully no one's gotten lost yet, you'd be hoping.
After a good, challenging drive first up, the bashers are ready for lunch at the Linville School.
After a hard day at the office, fighting crime and saving lives, need a good feed.
Bye-bye.
Rejuvenated, the bashers are back on the road. But the afternoon is going to be quite a challenge for some teams.
Thunderbirds were go. Now Thunderbirds have decided to stop. It appears that there may be a problem with our tail shaft. Now the useful crew members, with assistance, are attempting to repair the said tail shaft.
The rubber's gone.
Couldn't possibly be attributable to me. I didn't hit anything too fast. I'm certain I wasn't going too fast. Absolutely certain that I'm sure of it.
But they aren't the only ones having trouble on the road into Dalby. It's going to be a long trek in for some of the bashers.
Don't get any fuel.
It's a bit hot for the old girl. Go again.
You know what they say, it's fixed or it's free. In this case, it's fixed and it's free.
I broke it. I was driving down really slow and this little kid ran out. Pushing a pram, I dodged to miss it and hit a tree. And we broke the control arm.
So what really happened?
I broke the control arm. I'm sure there was a kid somewhere.
While we leave these bash teams to work on their cars, I've jumped in with an all-girls team that are fortunately smooth sailing today.
So here we are in the Dixie Chicks car. George, what's it like, girls on the bash? It feels like a real blokey thing to do, but there's quite a few ladies in the bash.
No, there's a lot of girl bashes now. This is my 4th year and we're getting more and more girls. I feel very comfortable on the bash, as in if we have breakdowns, there's always a guy to help us.
So you do need the blokes, eh?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We don't want to change tyres, but we do it if we have to do it.
Worst thing about being on a bash?
Oh, no sleep. That'd have to be it.
Well, if that's the worst thing I'm going to see, I think it'll be good.
Yes, it will be. You'll have a ball.
We roll into Dalby at the end of day 1. It's been quite an eventful start. But what will the next 9 days have in store for us?
Sinking like stone is all that we fall for.
So here we are on day 2 of our bash adventure, heading from Dalby towards Croomba Tops. But we never really know what's going to happen each day until we get our run sheets. So who would know what adventures we face today? We ready to go, mate? Let's hook in.
But before we get to the start line, we get a chance to see exactly what the bash is all about.
Good morning, everyone.
A local Dalby boy, Sebastian, has come down to enjoy all the cars. He might not be able to see the crowd, but that doesn't stop him from entertaining us all.
Mom? Yeah? I'm talking through a microphone. And I can make static electricity.
And Sebastian and his brother get a ride to school they will never forget. Back to the starting line, local girls Dixie Chicks lead the pack out.
We're in Dalby, we're just about to leave on our 2nd day of the bash. I'm forgetting where we're actually heading. We're going to get our instructions now.
Come on, hurry up, I've got to be home by December.
And this is our 2nd day of fun and frivolity and adventure.
So we roll out of Dalby with our sights set on the gold mining town of Krakow for lunch.
But we aren't on the road for long before things start to get a little more challenging for the drivers.
Hello! Hi! We need help! We got another casualty.
No. Paparazzi.
Well, that picks that lot up. They're gone.
There is a
a whole lot of loose dirt over here, and the bashers are kind of experienced with this, but even when you try your harder, sometimes you're just going to get bogged. This is why they've got mobile workshops on hand, so everyone can get pulled out and no one's going to get left here.
Bananas are bogged.
But just as soon as we get out of trouble, we come up against the next obstacle.
So who's going to get you out?
Oh, I know.
We finally get everyone through the track and arrive at the Krakow pub, which is not only a top example of an outback watering hole, but this pub is owned by Fred Brophy, the world's last tent boxing showman. So Fred, tell me, how on earth did you end up in Krakow?
Well, I've been looking for a hotel for years and I wanted a fair dinkum pub, so my wife found this about 7 or 8 years ago, and I thought, well, this is a fair dinkum pub.
How many people is there normally in Krakow?
Oh, there's about 20 local people.
So it's only got 450 people roll into town.
They've got 450 people. I'd say this is the most people we've had here for a long time.
Look to the other side, 'cause I know the grass is greener, but just as hard to know.
Back on the road, we're heading towards our overnight stop, Croombit Park, which is located on a 4,000 hectare working cattle station just out of Biloela.
The days can be high in kilometres, so to keep everyone alert and having fun, there are fun stops along the way.
They've got to blow that ball, they've got to get it down to the line, but unfortunately when they blow hard, all the dirt comes back in their face. It's so sad.
Despite all the safety precautions taken to make the bash safe, accidents will sometimes happen.
Can we have the location of 333?
Happily, the girls from car 333 are safe and unhurt, but the same can't be said for their car.
Fortunately, this is where the bash spirit really shines, as everyone pitches in to get the car to the overnight stop. The car needs to be towed on a straight bar for the next 80 kilometres, assuring it won't be in until well after dark. But that is not the end of the story. All of the bush mechanics from different teams band together to get car 333 back on the road by daybreak.
Yeah, we winched the front of the car out. We're getting the radiator out now, and once we get that out, we can see what damage is done. We'll get that repaired, and I'm sure it'll be at the start for the morning.
After a big night at Croombit Tops, with most of us bashers camping out, not everyone is feeling too flash.
seats.
I've never slept in a swag in my life, and now I know why, because at 6'5", you just can't fit into one.
Today's trek is from Croombit Tops to Springshaw, which will take us through some beautiful beef country.
And as promised, car 333 is back on the road after many bashes stayed up most of the night to get it running.
As we head towards Bohinia Downs, it's amazing how much the scenery changes. Recent rain has given us a spectacular landscape of green and gold set against red dirt. The bash is made up of all sorts, but one of the more unusual entrants is car 46, with 4 20-year-old girls from Brisbane.
A group of 4 20-year-old girls spending their free time fundraising, that's a pretty big deal.
We didn't actually know what variety was, so it was a bit tough, and then we knew that we had to raise $7,000.
So how did you guys go about your fundraising?
We do meat trays at North Lakes every Friday night, which is in Brisbane, and we had a golf day.
So do you think you're going to come again?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Young people don't realise that it is a thing for young people as well. It's not just the oldies going out for a Sunday drive. It's a great lot of fun. You meet so many people, and it all makes it worthwhile when you see all those kids like we have today. It's just about.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. You leave your car alone for 2 seconds with a virgin driver, that's what happens.
It's comfort. It's padding.
It's Christmas.
Okay, guess the way to the sheep.
After lunch at Bohinia Downs School, I want to find out what it is that keeps the bashers coming back for more. So I tracked down long-term basher and first-time bash chairman Steve Wakeley.
Everyone's done all the work throughout the year to get here, so this is like a reward for bashers for the efforts that they've done throughout the year.
I mean, what's the most salient features, if you will, of being a basher?
Oh, look, everyone talks about how it's for the kids, and absolutely, that's what it's great that it's all about the kids. And but look, just being here and being amongst all these people is amazing. These people that do this, it takes a special kind of person to raise money for someone that they've never met and probably will never meet. And it's not just a matter of raising a few $100s; they're raising thousands and thousands of dollars.
Why does it grab people so much?
I think your first couple of bashes, to some extent, it's about the party and it's about the great time. But after that, it sort of evolves into you witness some of the appeals that we give to the kids, and it really rips your heart out when you see some of these kids.
They're very shy people around here.
It's been another massive day as many cars roll into Springshaw after dark. But some officials have had an even longer day. Wazza is the bash scout, which sees him out first every day.
Oh, well, that means I get up early in the morning while you're all in bed having sleepies and brekkie and all that, and I disappear into the dark, and we go and survey the route to make sure that it hasn't changed since we did the original surveys, and no bogs, the council hasn't dug up the road, shut the road, all that sort of thing, put up any warning signs that need to be put up, and meet you at the other end and stamp your passports and give you a pat on the backside.
We're just happy to be here.
That's good. Now you're having fun, that's the main thing.
Boy, we always have fun.
Well, that's good.
As day breaks on Virgin Rock overlooking Springshaw, the bashers awake to a wet day.
Morning.
Morning.
It's all good, girls. It's a little bit of fun weather.
Which might prove a problem for some of the more outrageous bash cars.
Attention, attention. Anyone in the town who has a Land Rover for sale with a roof, we would like to purchase the roof only.
The one upside to wet weather is there is no dust as we head through cattle properties on our way to the lunch stop at Islay Station, which sits about 500 kilometres inland from Rockhampton.
But before we get to lunch, car 668 is going to learn the valuable lesson of a laminated windscreen.
Knock it out, close all the windows, keep on trucking. Simple as that. What else can you do?
While car 668 will have a slow trip in, the rest of the crew is rolling into Islay Station for the lunch stop, where the Manning boys from car 207 have taken on the task of feeding 400 or so bashers. So how many pies are you putting on?
800.
800 pies.
I've got about 2 each.
Because they're that good?
Yeah.
It's a nice family business.
Yeah, 65 years.
And now it's also family bash team too, isn't it?
It's growing. Team's getting bigger and bigger every year.
Now, which one would you recommend for me?
Roast beef's very nice.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay.
After a perfect rainy day lunch, we are back on the road to Capella, but the rain is about to play havoc with the bash route.
Keeping the ruts, because otherwise you'll lose it again. The ruts will keep you straight.
Let 'em go. Walk out the door and come to me.
So the bash has gone on a route that's black soil. The problem is that once it rains, it gets really, really slippery. So the bashers have been going at about 20 kilometres an hour to keep safe along this track, but it's doing nothing to help my feet.
Today we're off to Yuppon, which will be the location of our lay day, the much needed day of rest for our bodies and the cars. But we still have a big day of driving ahead of us. This morning we are tackling Capella to Blackwater.
Shane,
Jala, how you going?
halfway through, how are you going?
Well, the last couple of nights I've been sleeping inside a wet sleeping bag and a wet swag out in the freezing cold. Other than that, having a great bash.
So you're a softie, Shane, is that what you're telling me?
I'm not a softie, but look, tonight we're in a hotel and I'm looking forward to a nice warm bed to be good.
So what about driving? How's it going behind the wheel?
I've not been behind the wheel. 30-year-old vehicle, I'm not sure whether it's safe. I'm not sure whether it's safe for me to be driving it, so I won't be driving.
Well, I want you to get behind the wheel. I want you to do this bash properly.
Look, for you today, and the fact that we're staying on bitumen, I will drive.
Thanks to the rain, the bash route will be taking on some unexpected water crossings.
What's happened here is he's come through a bit of a creek crossing. He's hit a rock. It's hit the steering, broken the steering arm, and we're now welding it up and getting him going.
Now, Albert, you and your mobile workshop teams are the real reason the bash keeps going. Take us through it, mate. What's the procedures? What do you got? What happens?
We've got 5 mobile workshops. We've got about 17 auxiliary workshops.
A little bit of grease, have you?
And their aim is to make sure that the guys get through. So if they break down, it's our job to repair, get them going again.
I would think that you'd have to have a very, very well-prepared mobile workshop scenario.
Yeah, well, most of our guys are carrying oxy sets, carrying MIG welders and stick welders. So yeah, there's a fair bit of gear on board, plus our crowbars, porta powers, you name it, we've got the lot.
One of the big things the bash does along the way is visit schools. The bashers bring all sorts of treats and toys to give out. Today we have stopped at Anarchy School in the Gemfields region.
So Shirley, you're the principal here at Anarchy School.
Yes, that's correct.
How many kids have we got?
We've got 80 children.
So having 100 or so bash cars come screaming through here is pretty exciting.
It is unbelievable. The children have never seen anything like it. They're running up to me and telling me it's the best day of their life, and they can't believe all the things that everybody wants to show me what's in their bag. They've never seen the likes of it. It's very exciting.
There's not going to be a lot of schoolwork done for the rest of the day.
Meanwhile, I'm catching a ride with the Godfather team, and I have good reason to be a little nervous.
Okay, is it a mafia car, a mob car?
It's the family car. Just call it the family car.
Sorry, the family
it's
car.
It's the family wagon.
Mate, I'm not feeling like one of the family. I sort of haven't got the hat or anything. Do you think I could have one?
I've got a spare one just there.
Here you go,
pal.
Yeah, just help me with the right. I've got a big head though.
Beautiful, yeah.
Now, as an additional fundraising thing, you boys, and being Italian, I suppose, coffee is your thing. I actually have like a mobile coffee station which you're actually selling and making more money for kids.
Well, that came about last year on the bash. Les Freeman and myself, one of the other dons in the party, we couldn't get a decent cup of coffee, and the Godfather, we've got to have our coffee. So we thought, well, this year we'll bring our own coffee machine and we'll make a business out of it. Godfather Cafe is open for business.
And there's obviously normally all profits go back to the family, but in this case they don't. They go to the kids.
Definitely it'll go to the kids. Definitely it'll go to the kids. There's nothing in it for us. Definitely nothing.
No stand up anyway.
Nothing. Yeah, we're not like that, Joe.
It's a long, dusty road into the next stop, but once we hit the Capricorn coast at Yuppon, all the dust begins to fade away. And after quite a few nights in swags, everyone is thrilled about the idea of a real bed at Ridges.
But the 5-star treatment doesn't end there. The big surprise for tonight, here in the beef capital of Australia, is dinner ringside at our own rodeo. The Lay Day is a much-needed day of rest. For some of the bashers, it is a chance to do some washing and relax. And for others, it is a nightmare day of repairs, like the Green Machine team. After serious problems since day one, the Green Machine team and a group of helpful bashers decide the only option is to put a whole new motor in. And so the process begins.
While the boys continue in the car park, the rest of the bashers are living it up the only way they know how, by putting the fun back into fundraising, with a beach party complete with prawns and King Island steak all the way from Tasmania.
Meanwhile, back at the Green Machine,
Pour a bit of water on it.
No, nothing now.
As the sun rises over beautiful Yuppon, it's back on the road for the bashers. On day 8 of our journey, we are heading further north to Glendon. But before we get there, one of the bash teams has a surprise.
Only on the bash would you find a McDonald's set up in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea how they do these things, but I am very excited about this. I'll have a sausage and egg McMuffin, please. And a hash brown, yes.
I've got a couple of McDonald's stores down in Brisbane, and we offered to do breakfast this morning.
What logistically did you have to do to set up a McDonald's in the middle of absolutely nowhere?
Luckily, we had some spare equipment in our shed back at the office. We had to hire a bit of gear, but get a big generator from over there to power all the toasters. But it was a lot of fun, actually. We've catered for 1,000 items. There's only 450 bashers, but they'll probably have 2 or 3 things each.
Yeah, I already snuck an extra hash brown.
Today's journey from Yuppon to Glendon will take us on more dusty roads, and some bash teams really do suffer for their vehicles, like the Fireys.
Richard, 3,000 odd kilometres of variety bash, and you've come in an open top vehicle.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Mate, it's pure luxury, it's great.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Mate, look, air conditioning. What more could you ask for?
What happens, mate? What do you do when it gets all dusty?
When it's dusty, you get dusty, and when it rains, you get wet. That's simple.
Talk us through this vehicle. What are we on?
Mate, we're on a 1962 International fire truck. She's done 15 bashes before I got it.
15?
15. Never broken down once.
Top speed?
Top speed 80k. And that's going downhill.
So, your bash is going to be a long bash?
Very long.
Bashes also come in all shapes and sizes, and at 74, Margaret is our oldest basher.
Last year I went from Cairns to Birdsville. Somebody saw me and they invited me to come on this year's bash, and I thought, oh, that's better than sitting at home staring into space.
Anyone seen a Labrador anywhere?
And that and the drivers, I think they're all mad, of course. I mean, you have to be mad to be a basher, but they're interesting people and they're quite nice, and they do some very funny things to their cars.
Now, do you have grandkids back home?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm a single lady.
Oh.
And I never married because I never met a man who deserved to be as happy as I could make him.
But it also means that you can go on the bash anytime you want and no one's waiting at home for you.
That's right, yes.
Tonight's stop is Glendon, a very young town having only come into existence in the 1980s. There isn't a lot of accommodation, so it looks like swags again tonight.
Night camping's out on the oval.
But by now, a lot of the bashers have got it down to a fine art.
This bash has so far been one amazing, never ever thought I would do that experience after another.
Have fun!
And today is no different.
We're going out to have a look at Newlands Mines, which is put the mines out at great expense. So, and the organisation and the logistics that they would have had to go through to get this many people to go through would be amazing.
From this perspective in convoy, you can see just how many of us there is on this journey. And once the dragline comes into sight, all of us blokes are flooded with childhood memories of Tonka trucks.
I can't believe I'm standing under a truck. This thing's massive.
Right, it's big. Check out the size of the nuts on that.
Next stop after the mine is Mount Coolin, which has a massive population of 11. But the pub is more than welcoming and provide a great feed before our long trip into Ravenswood. But first, some locals are confused.
What's this thing? There's two starters. What the heck? What the hell?
Get out the back and have a look.
This car's weird. That's sick, man!
On the way into Ravenswood, we cross the amazing Burdekin Dam, which is the largest dam in Queensland and holds more water than 4 times the Sydney Harbour. As you drive along it, you really are struck by its huge size.
Another long day comes to an end as bashers roll into Ravenswood, which was once a thriving gold mining town. Tonight, they have closed off the main street to welcome the bashers. It's as good a place as any for a party.
As the sun rises over Ravenswood, the Bashers are about to meet a very special local.
Jade had a cancer called Langerhans cell histiocytosis, which is extremely rare. It's 1 in 300,000 chance of getting it. And she had masses in her hip and in her head and her eyes and in her mouth, and she's got hardly any right hip left and shouldn't be able to walk, but she does. So I thought I'd bring her down so that you could see her and see that you can get over problems. Can't you, Jade? Sure.
There are thousands of special kids in need across Queensland.
We'll see you at the start line, hey? Okay.
Many of them we only meet for the first time as the bash rolls through remote areas.
Wow!
The colourful cars have already brought a smile to Jade's face, but hopefully in the future, variety can help her even more. Someone who knows all about that is Doc, who heads up the appeals committee. Now, as well as being doctor, you're on the appeals committee, which means that you help decide where all this money that's raised goes.
It's not an easy job, being the chairman of the appeals committee. The appeals come in, I look at them, work out which child might have a higher priority to take some of the funds that we generate during the bash, and I prioritise and then put it to the committee that child be given something that they need from variety.
I suppose it's a case of it wouldn't matter how much money was raised, it'd be able to be dispersed, wouldn't it?
We could never make enough money to look after the disadvantaged kids in Queensland.
From Ravenswood, we are travelling through the coastal town of Bowen.
Once again, the Bashers are in for an exclusive treat. Now that the bash has hit cane country, we get a chance to see one of North Queensland's most spectacular sights. Cane fires were once a common sight in these parts, but nowadays only about 35% of farmers use them, so this really is a sight to behold. And to finish off this special occasion, there is a mud section down the track. And if there is one thing Bashers love, it's playtime in the mud.
Then it's time to head into Bowen, where a very special presentation is happening at the Bowen Special Education Unit. One of Variety's most successful programs is Sunshine Coaches, which make it possible for everyone in the classroom to enjoy excursions. It's a huge cost, but Variety was lucky enough to have the support of Xstrata Coal, who footed the $60,000 bill to make this dream a reality.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This bus is going to be magic. This bus, we've had a little girl with multiple impairments come to the school, and we can't take this little girl can't go swimming. That's the only sport that she can do. We've got toileting issues, we've got vision issues, the whole lot, and she just has to stay here virtually while we take the other kids with impairments 3 or 4 blocks away in town.
It looks very yummy.
To Xstrata, to Variety, thanks so much. We just haven't got the words.
Good morning, how are you? Have a lovely day.
One more party. One more party.
So this is the last time the Bashers are going to be crossing the starting line. Everyone's picking up their navigation sheets for the final trip into Airlie Beach. See you, boys! Ah!
Is it the last day? Thank goodness for that. Been a bloody good bash.
I reckon a couple more days we can go straight.
I'm ready to go home.
Another day in paradise. Beautiful weather.
I don't know where we're going. Cars got used to doing U-turns.
We don't have far to go to Airlie Beach, but in typical bash fashion, we never take the direct route. And today's lunch stop is definitely worthwhile a detour.
Found some water at last. Going to find the ship.
The Cape Gloucester Eco Resort is exactly what we all need to shake off 10 days worth of dust.
Not bad at all. So you're going to go and have a feed, or you're just going to...
Oh, no, I don't want to get fat. Why do you find that funny?
I don't know, you're a clown.
Oh, okay.
And suddenly, it's time to make our final journey into Early Beach.
Last day, we are about to finish. How was your first bash been?
Oh, Zala, look, I've had a wonderful time. I know now why they say day one that it's fun, but it's hard work. It certainly is that. But look, it's been a really good experience, and the people are just outstanding. They're fantastic. Yeah, they are. And look, every step of the way, if you needed something, you needed some help, or just wanted someone to have a laugh with, there was someone there. So no, it's been a really good experience. I'm glad I came.
It's kind of like being on a massive family holiday. Like you've got 100 granddads and 100 uncles and brothers and sisters and cousins all here on the bash, and everyone jumps in together.
Absolutely, and it does get like that because you start to get familiar with the faces and see different people, and people see you at breakfast, how you going, and all that sort of thing.
Oh! What the... Yeah, you crazy people.
I know why people can come back. I know why it gets infectious because I actually, this is my first bash. I can see why it would get you back in, and dare I say it, I think I might be back next year.
We've got you.
Yeah,
they say once a basher, always a basher. We've got Shane Webby.
I think I'm in. I think I'm part of the crew.
The cars begin to roll through the finishing arch, led by this year's highest fundraisers, car 999.
That is the finish line just there, and I'm a bit sad.
I've got to say goodbye to everyone. Till next year anyway.
Here we go, over the finish line.
Yay! You beauty.
A huge effort from all the bash teams has seen them raise a massive $1.3 million, which will go straight to the special kids of Queensland.
We made it. Come on a bash.
As we cross that finish line, it gives everyone a moment to reflect on the amazing journey we have all shared and realise what we have achieved.
You get to know the people who go on the bash year after year, and you look forward to seeing them at each bash. And 12 months later, you get on with the same conversation. And it's the spirit of going out and just enjoying yourself and driving the old cars. That's the common thread, but I think it's more to it than that.
Jessie has autism associated with intellectual impairment to the level 6, which is the highest possible level, so she has trouble communicating. She also has epilepsy, and we had a bout of the flu just went through the family not long ago, and Jessie had her first seizure for 3 years.
It's that emotion of togetherness, of raising money for kids in special need, and the great thing about it is you're having fun while you're doing it. Many fundraising things, it's long, hard yakka, and it's good that you achieve what you want to achieve, but in variety, you enjoy what you're doing, and you're having fun doing it. So I reckon that that's part of the spirit of variety.
We have our challenges, and the gifts that you give us certainly help. We can't say it enough how much we appreciate what you people do, and I'm so glad you have such a great time doing it. Thank you.
I will try to fix you.
How are you, mate?
Had a great bash. Number 3 for me, number 2 for the boys.
Had a ball. So that's number 4 down. Next year, number 5. Looking forward to it.
Every year the bash tackles a new track, and the 2008 bash really is for all those motorheads out there. It's running from Toowoomba to Bathurst, finishing at the iconic motor race. So if this sounds like your sort of adventure, then make sure you give Variety, the children's charity, a call.
Glad to be here. It was fantastic. Believe that's what.
sensational.